Amber Heard plans to appeal verdict in Johnny Depp defamation case. So here we go. What she plans on elongating. I don't know what she's going to appeal. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that she was wrong in everything. Oh, I am on time then. Oh, Zippy, you're always on time. Anytime you're here, you're always on time. Yeah, Morgana, she is. So I wanted to start out with some Instagram posts by both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, Amber Hooters. That's where Amber's going to be working now that she owes Johnny Depp what $10 million or something, which I think the state capped it at $350,000. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but we're going to kind of hopefully we'll get into that a little bit. But so she was not found guilty. This is a defamation case. This is a civil court, not criminal court. So there was no, she wasn't like found guilty and she's going to go to jail, even though there's so many people who think she should go to jail. And I don't know if that's the case. I think the lady needs the therapy. I think she needs the therapy, maybe some medications. I don't know. Johnny Depp needs to stop drinking and doing cocaine all the time. I think both of them need some serious help. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I think that they are just some broken people, and they found each other, and how broken people do. And, they just had a really wild time. So let's jump into Amber Heard's response to what was going. Oh, jeez. So this is Amber's, as you can see, here's Amber's check mark, and this is her page, and this is what she put up a day ago, or this was longer than a day ago, but anyways, here we go. So the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband, Johnny Depp. I'm more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. Yeah, because you fucked up the Me Too movement. Asshole. Of course you'd bring it back to her and oh, this hurts other women. This hurts other women because now you've set back this whole movement because you were making shit up. That's why it hurts other women, not because the mountain of evidence. Hooters, the mountain of evidence. So it sets back the clock to a time when women who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. I have to imagine that she was on Twitter, she was on TikTok. It had to have been hard not to be online Googling yourself. You didn't even have to Google yourself. You open up any of these social media apps and you're inundated with Amber Heard, justice for Johnny, the whole thing. So I can imagine. I mean, she fired her PR team when as the case started to develop, and she was seeing how the internet and public opinion was swaying against her. So she fired them, and she was mad. I don't know why she didn't fire them lawyers, because those people were just sorry sacks of crap at their job. I don't know who they are as people. I'm sure they're fine people. It's just they were terrible at what they were doing. Like, my God, where did you find these people? In fucking Craigslist? Did you find them on Craigslist? In Backpage? Where did you find these lawyers? It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. No, we take women, we take men, we take people seriously when they make these accusations. But that's where it stops. You have to present the evidence, and all the evidence was showing was that you were both them. I don't want to just say Amber because both, and I maintain that since we started covering this, is that both Johnny Depp and her are just two crazy people fueled by drugs, and they were just going ham on each other. Crazy people, all right? Crazy people. But when you hear those tapes, when you hear, you're going to tell them, go ahead, Johnny, tell the world that I, Johnny Depp, am a victim of domestic violence. And just the way you can just hear it, and her disingenuous, I saw a TikTok of one of the, maybe we'll watch that. We'll jump to that after this, because I heard, and I'm not sure if it's the actual one of the jurors, but they were talking about how uncomfortable they made her feel. So we'll go listen to that, because that's pretty good. That was pretty good. They released their own TikTok, and it's pretty insightful on how the jury saw this person as she was staring. Because if you guys remember, she's just staring at them like, and she's like appealing to them, not looking around, not looking down, not acting like a domestic violence victim, a DV victim, but acting like an actor. So I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. Now, her lawyer has been going on this press junket talking about how they weren't allowed to enter that into evidence, that they won in the UK, but they brought it up all the fucking time. So to me, it's just disingenuous and lying. I'm sad that I lost this case, but I'm sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. And so there is this part of me that's, that is like, she kind of has a point where she has freedom of speech is very important to me, especially as someone who does something like this. As a podcaster, freedom of speech is very important. And I do believe that she has the right to talk and be and to be open about what she feels, how she feels she was wronged. But I guess you can't make up blatant lies. You know what I mean? In the court of law, they found her guilty of defamation. So she was defaming him, and she really did. She really did defame Johnny Depp for it's been 6 years, and he's just his career is tanked, and he was unhireable. We'll see what happens in the coming months and years if Johnny Depp can get his career back, but I'm not sure. And we'll go into this because there is something interesting that's been sort of hasn't been, it just sort of bubbled up to the surface now that the whole trial is over, that she didn't even write that fucking op-ed. So we'll get to that, but let's jump over to this TikTok of the juror, and just to give you an idea of, let's see, oh god, it's gonna be loud, hold on. All right. No, shut up. Oh, this is the crashes. I love this one. Oh god. Oh Jesus. I love this page. It's so good. It's just like crashes, which is not, I mean, I don't celebrate crashes, but it's so good. It's totally a dude. It's totally a dude page. Wait a second. Did I save it? No, I didn't save it. Oh, I didn't save it. No, it's on Janine's page. So, body language. So this is Janine Shriver. Ooh, we're going to watch this too. Okay, so here's the juror reacting to the case.
Day of being a juror on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. And I wish to remain anonymous, but I thought I'd give some insight on my thoughts about the trial. I don't follow pop culture too much, so I haven't really been a fan of Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, so I feel I was able to be pretty unbiased about the whole thing. But from the very beginning, when Amber Heard was testifying, everything just seemed so off with how she kept making eye contact with me, and it made me extremely uncomfortable.
So right there it is. There's that what I was talking about earlier. She was staring at the jury. She's just looking at them constantly, acting for the jury. Nader Tater, how you doing, friend? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. We're just wrapping up this whole Amber Turd drama that's been going on for weeks now. But welcome in. We'll listen a little bit more. We'll just listen to this whole video, but. But it's very interesting to get insight, and hopefully, I'm hoping that this is a real juror, and I believe it is because Janine Driver puts out really good content. I'm actually reading her book right now. Always well, thanks for asking. What you know? I know nothing. I'm smart enough to know that I know nothing. That's my answer. I don't know shit. As much as I want to know shit, I don't.
To where I would no longer look over at her when she was
so let's back it up a little bit.
It made me extremely uncomfortable to where I would no longer look over at her when she was giving her answers. I would just listen intently, and everything she was saying came off like bullshit. And I wasn't following anything on TikTok during the whole trial, and I was scrolling through after the trial, and blows my mind on how every single person seemed to be commenting on how weird it was. So, good news for Johnny Depp. That was my gut feeling after all the information in the trial. But Amber Heard, what a crazy woman.
I like that. Add that in there. An anonymous juror shares his thoughts on how he felt about Amber looking at the jury during her testimony. I said several times on TV this is weird approach she was taking would backfire on her because it comes across as manipulative. Yeah, you're looking at them. You're putting on a show for the jury. It didn't, and it just always came off disingenuous. I mean, the whole the whole Frake crying thing, the whole, there was never tears. And then her acting coach came on and said she's always had a problem with fake crying. She's never been able to do it very well. And on the stand, you saw that. You saw that loud and clear. And of course, in the jury found her to be disingenuous and coming from one of the jurors themselves. There's like, this did not come off right. Like there's something off about this human being who keeps staring at, and to the point where it made him uncomfortable and where he just decided to stop looking at her and stop making eye contact with her. Now, if it was me, I'd start winking at her. I'd be like, what's up? Hey, what's up? What's up, boo? What you up to? You want to go to Hooters with me? What you doing after this? What you got going on tonight, baby? You want to go Hooters? Buy you a nice steak dinner. Put some ketchup on it. You want to go Hooters with me? Anyways, stupid. I want to see this. So 4 kinds of lies. Let's see her latest video, because I love Janine Driver. Again, I'm reading her book, and it's called "You Can't Lie to Me." I just started it, and it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
Instead of past tense, what I want to.
Janine Driver, why did this jury not believe Amber Heard was a victim?
Now, we've talked to death about body language and statement analysis and her hand gestures and illustrators didn't match what she said. She talked about current tense instead of past tense. What I want to focus on tonight is, why are we forgiving of this? Because we all lie, Vinny. All of us. I'm sure you've lied in the last 24 hours. Research shows 1 out of 9 adults lie in social situations. College kids, 1 out of 3. Here's why we are not forgiving when we hear her lie on the stand. There's 4 types of lies. Pro-social. Does this outfit make me look fat? No, Janine, the fat makes you look fat. I want you to lie to me. I don't want you to tell me the fat makes me look fat. Self-enhancement. Self-enhancement is J-Lo lying about her age. Rebel Wilson lying about her name and her age years ago. Miley Cyrus saying she married Liam Hemsworth 5 years before she actually did it. We can forgive pro-social and self-enhancement lies, but selfish lie, a selfish lie and an antisocial lie, we are not forgiving. Selfish lie means I get something and you get pain. So here she is on the stand lying, causing someone pain. Johnny Depp, we are not forgiving. Antisocial lies. These are the lies that we just tell lies just to cause harm to people and we get nothing from it. Jodi Arias is in these categories. Brian Williams lied about a helicopter he was on getting shot down, saying he got hit by a missile. His story was cool as it is. Here's the United States. Here's Brian Williams' helicopter. Here's the Taliban. You had to land because of a windstorm, a sandstorm. You didn't have to lie. So Lance Armstrong, these are the types of lies. Casey Anthony lying to police, found guilty for lying to police. These are the lies the jury and the general public are not forgiving. Selfish lies cause harm to others. Antisocial lies cause harm to others. And you get off on it. So those types of moments, we see it in Amber and we just don't like it. And at the end of the day, really, the jury should have sided with Amber because there was verbal abuse. It's been proven. We heard it. Why their side muddied the waters by having her get on the stand and tell these elaborate lies is great. I'm not a lawyer. Maybe you can answer that. Why didn't they just focus on the voice messages and the toxic, mutual abuse that they had? Why did Elaine muddy the waters with this terrible, terrible testimony?
They were following the formula from the UK, where a 71-year-old man was convinced she was telling the truth. The judge. Janine.
So that's one interesting thing about the UK trial compared to the US trial is that it was just one judge. There was no jury. So it was one, and as he said it was a 70-year-old dude who was like convinced that she was telling the truth and that there was enough evidence against Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp was suing The Sun. He was suing The Sun, the newspaper over there there was a, what did they print? They print something is like, why is Johnny still allowed to work even though he's a woman beater or something, right? So he was suing them for defamation, and Amber Heard and Johnny Depp went to the UK to battle it out, and he ended up losing against The Sun. And so this is different because there was jurors, and this was defamation against Amber Heard for an op-ed that she didn't even fucking write. And we'll get to that. What's up, Morby? Welcome in. Oh, no forgiveness. This woman has no mercy. Listen, Moving Dutchman. Nobody has mercy for this person. No one. And she's just gonna go and live in her little cocoon of shame for a little while, and she still gets to be in the second Aquaman, which fucking who gives a fuck about Aquaman? Like I've watched some of the scenes with her in it. Like she is terrible. Like she is not a good actress. She's terrible. I feel like she's denigrating that whole movie and the whole legacy of Aquaman. I am almost thinking she got paid by Mr. Depp. Oh, you think Janine Driver? I don't think so. Janine Driver is definitely an independent. If she was getting paid by Johnny Depp and she was being elevated by Johnny Depp, she would have more than 358 likes on TikTok. All right? So I don't know about that. Bro, if you got hit by a missile, you'd be primordial ooze. Yeah, Brian Williams, he made up this lie, famously made up this lie about getting hit by a missile by the Taliban. But really, it was just that there was high winds and the chopper had to go down, which is a good enough story on its own. Like, that's like, why did you feel like you had to lie? You were like in the battle zone. You had to ground. The winds were high. The tension was high. I'm sure it was scary as fuck. Why did he have to be like, yeah, I got hit by a missile and I had to go down? Like, it wasn't. It's like, we get it. You had balls of steel. These people who go into the crossfire of war, these reporters, these people are fucking. They have balls of steel or beans of steel, whatever. They are fucking. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that. And I consider myself kind of a journalist. I'm not going to the fucking war zones. I won't even go to protest. Fuck that. I got other things to do. Anyways, I am almost thinking, oh yeah, bro. Yeah. Okay. Zippy. I'm good. Hope you are. Yes. If she subs to this channel, I will forgive her on the spot. Thank you, Moving Dutchman. I appreciate that. Miss Driver has a mission. Yeah. A driving mission. In any case, I love her. I love her analysis. I love her breakdowns of body language and stuff. It's just so fascinating to me. I've always been interested by the different different idea of like spotting lies, spotting body language what body language means and what it says about a person. That's always been very fascinating to me. So finding her was such a treat because now I'm reading her book. And it's very good. It's very, very good. And right now she's talking about lies, why people lie. So this kind of goes right into it. I am not forgiving because she used graphic descriptions of SA, but the lies were obvious. It's an insult to survivors. Yeah, there you go. User 9005105291106. Thank you for that. That's a bot. It's a bot. Thank you for your insight throughout the trial. I couldn't wait to hear your take on each day's events. I learned so much. Yeah, me too. Me too, Janine. That judge didn't believe her. His son works for Rupert Murdoch, who owns The Sun. That's why the judge ruled for The Sun. I wonder if that's true. They're talking about the UK trial, and I wonder if that is true. If that's part of it. That's so interesting. Yo, have mercy with Amber. Okay, Moving Dutchman. Yeah, whatever. You have mercy with her. Yo, do you know Channel 5 formerly knows as All Gas, No Brakes? You'd love this stuff, I think. Channel 5 formerly knows All Gas. I think I have heard of that. Do I follow them? Oh, yes. Oh, I love this guy. He's so good. Yes, I do love this guy. Yeah, Andrew Callahan. Yeah, he is so good. Like, I remember when he first started out, he was going to, like, hippie festivals and just letting people talk. He's talked to one dude. He's like, what do you do? And he's like, I work in the porn industry for the last 40 years. And then he was like, I'm voting for Andrew Yang. It was amazing.
Content. And now it's going to be.
Let's just watch one.
Looks like one militant Trump supporter showed up. He got his ass beat. And now 600 photographers are making content. And now it's going to be 601. Thanks for watching. So it looks like one militant Trump supporter.
It looks like it's going to be 601. Oh, shit. This stuff is.
I was hooking up with this chick. One day, she was on the phone with her family in Jamaica, and she was really in the middle of a heated conversation. Tell that pussy clot girl me know what. I really had no idea what the fuck she was saying. And her friend said, "Fill me picnic in the car with me so I can't chat." I'm like, wow. So wait, break that down. So then she started breaking down a lot of shit. I'm like, how do you say this? John no star. How do you say that? Oh, like 7. Oh. I was hooking up with this.
That's funny. Hold on.
Kobe Bryant, they tried to kill Tiger Woods in that car accident recently.
Why?
The Kobe Bryant deal is that he had dirt on the Clintons. I love black people. I love everybody. We're all God's children.
Isn't this a White Lives Matter rally?
Well, I'll tell you what, this whole thing with the virus, with BLM, with Antifa, that was to hurt President Trump. And the reason that President Trump wasn't back by January 20th, the reason he hasn't been back yet, is because he didn't want to have civil war. I think you know where I was on January 6th.
Where were you?
I think you know where I was on January 6th. Trump is still in control of our country.
Where'd you get those shoes from? Those are pretty fresh.
Those are just being a champion for the Lord. That's it. They assassinated Kobe Bryant. They tried to kill.
Just being a champion for the Lord. I think you know where I was on January 2nd. Where were you? I think you know where I was. The whole Chet Hanks saga is the shit. I agree. That shit is so funny. They all just spill their beans. It's so awesome. And this guy is also a reoccurring character. He's on all the wacky conventions and protests. Yeah, I love the coverage. I love that these guys are like. But here's the thing: these guys are really boots on the ground. As silly as it comes off, they are really boots on the ground. They are actually talking to these people that are going to Portland and talking to Antifa, and I think it's good because it kind of shows. I always like things that make fun of. They're not making fun of them so much as like exposing the just the ridiculousness of the situation, and they just let themselves. They let themselves reveal who they truly are, you know what I mean, without having to be like, you know, this guy's a dipshit racist, you know what I mean? They just sort of let that come out on their own. I mean, that is what's happening. There's a lot of bullshit on all sides of this culture war. There's all kinds of bullshit going on. So yeah, these guys are awesome. So getting back to our Amber Turd story, let's go and find Johnny Depp's response. So this is Johnny Depp's response to the verdict. So 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed, all in the blink of an eye. False, very serious, and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which targeted an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and colossal support and kindness from around the world. That's the thing. He garnered the court of public support. He swayed the jury of public support, and that's really where he won. And I think that was very necessary for him, because hopefully he gets his fucking career back. This dude is fucking... I think Johnny Depp is a fantastic actor. You know, he's a great artist. And again, I'm not saying that he's not at any kind of fault here, because obviously he's a fucking psycho fucking path. But what kind of man who's been a superstar for 30 fucking years isn't some narcissistic fucking drug-addled psycho? You know what I mean? Like, this guy has been just world famous for 30 some years, man. That's a long time to be out there. Can you read it in Johnny Depp's voice? Oh, let me see. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness of the world. I hope that my quest to have truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and in the media. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, the court staff, and sheriffs who sacrificed their own time to get into this point, and my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me to share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Veritas Naquam Paret. Truth never perishes. Johnny Depp, UK, 2022. There you go. That was a bad one. I can't do impressions very well. But yeah, so there you go. That is his response, which I think is a very humble response, and I dig it. I dig it. Oh, thank you, Morby. I appreciate you saying that. So yeah, there's that. That's their. Oh, look at another Morgana Robinson. Look at not Morgana Robinson, but Morgana. There they are. What I think is interesting is that the amount of people who love No Legacy is rich as honesty. I love that he allowed the comments to stay on. And we can go over to Amber, and she has 6 comments, which she turned off the comments. You cannot leave any more comments. I wonder why she did that. Look, she let this one. Genevieve Chase, my heart hurts for you and so many others who are impacted by this in the most personal ways. To laugh often as much, to win respect of the intelligent people and affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the beauty in others, and to leave the world a bit better, whether a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know one life is breathed easier because you lived here. This is to have succeeded. You've succeeded in each of these and so much more. Stay strong. I love you. Love you. These are bots. These are paid actors. It was terrible but amusing. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. So she turned off the things, the comments, which I don't blame her. I don't blame her for that, because it was going to be nothing but horrible, just awful things. And, she's already experienced enough of that. And I know that she comes off as an evil, vindictive person, but she's still a human being. She still deserves to have her privacy and have somewhat of a, somewhat of a life after this. Here's the thing: their names were in the news. This elevated both of their names to higher levels. So let's see what happens. On one hand, you could have producers and casting agents in Hollywood who are gonna stick by Amber and be like, "Oh, fuck Johnny Depp still," and then you're gonna have people who want Johnny Depp to movies, and maybe her career will explode after this, or it will implode. Maybe she needs some acting lessons first, but I hope the best for her. I hope that it's not just people shitting on her for the rest of her life, like she shit on Johnny Depp's bed. Hooters, eat some wings and go shit on your husband's bed. Hooters, go ahead and fake cry for everybody. Hooters, go ahead and eat steak with ketchup, then shit on your husband's bed. There you go. All right. Okay. So the attorneys have responded to this. And let's see. Okay, so here's the response from the Johnny's attorneys. So let's watch through this and see what they have to say, and then we'll watch through what her attorneys are saying. And back, Ziggy, do you have your glasses on now?
Hi everyone. Today's verdict confirms.
By the way, Camille's hot.
What we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice. Now that the jury has reached its conclusive verdict, it's time to turn the page and look to the future. Thank you all so much. Thanks to the jury.
Thank you so much.
I'd tap that. Yeah, Ziggy, when's the reveal coming? I'm following your Instagram, your Ziggy's Hair Instagram. I'm following it like I'm following the Amber Heard trial. Just like, let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see that shit. Let me see it. Let me see it, Ziggy. Okay, so that's their response. I think they just bounce out. Look. Go A-Team! I will, Morby. So, yeah, they didn't even take any questions. They're just like, yeah, Camille just came out and whipped her clit out on the table. Was like, boom, bitch. Hey, big bean energy, bitches. Camille killed it. Both of them. My Hairstagram is where Raina got the Maury pictures of me. Now that's where I got the Maury pictures of you, Ziggy. Me. I did that video. Nah. Hence the terrible animation. If Raina would have did it, the animation would have probably been a lot smoother. Higgy. Yeah, I would tap that too, Zippy. Why not? Why not? She's killing it. Or you so stalk my Hairstagram. Morby, are you on Instagram? I feel like if you're on Instagram, I should be following you or something. I don't know. I mean, unless you don't want me to. I mean, I guess we don't. All right. So that's her response, and I got the TikTok over here. So there's another girl who I've been following on the case who's done a really good job on following the stuff here. So here is the I am on Instagram, but I barely use it. What's the gram, Morbs? But I barely use it. It's with my not sounder cover name. Okay, well, there you go. You can share it with us, or you don't have to. Can one change? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can change your shit all the time. All right. Let's listen to this terrible lawyer talk shit. So here we go.
First question, how is its attorney Elaine Charlson? Brett O'Hoff, good morning to you. It's good to see you. First question, how is Amber doing? We saw her hearing that verdict. It took a long time to read. It was a sweeping verdict for Johnny Depp. How did she handle it?
You know, one of the first things she said is, I am so sorry to all those women out there. This is a setback for all women in and outside the courtroom. And
this woman has been going on all these talk shows, all these morning shows, saying the same shit and coming off just as disingenuous and disheveled as she did in the courtroom. There was a big difference between Big Bean Energy, Camille, and, Shriveled Bean Energy with whatever this lady's name is. But let's let her talk. I interrupted.
And she feels the burden of that.
Well, knowing the case and knowing the law, as you certainly do, it favors defendants like Amber Heard. Are you stunned that the jury essentially rejected her story?
Well, really what happened here is it's a tale of two trials. Johnny Depp brought a suit in the UK for the same case, and the burden of proof was easier for him there. The Sun had to actually prove that it was true, and the court found there, and we weren't allowed to tell the jury this, but the court found that Mr. Depp had committed at least 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence, against Amber. So what did Depp's team learn from this? Demonize Amber and suppress the evidence. We had an enormous amount of evidence that was suppressed in this case that was in the UK case. In the UK case, when it came in, Amber won, Mr. Depp lost.
But here's the thing. You were able to get some evidence that you say demonstrated abuse. You certainly had her testimony. There were pictures, documents, all kinds of evidence. But in point of fact, the jury rejected it. You argued in your closing arguments that if they found even one instance of abuse, and it did not even have to be physical abuse, that they would have to find for Amber Heard. And they didn't.
And the other part to bear in mind here is nothing changed. The op-ed didn't even mention Mr. Depp by name. And so what basically they did here is demonize her. And they were able to suppress the medical records, which were very, very significant because they showed a pattern going all the way back to 2012 of Amber reporting this to her therapist
Reporting it to your therapist. What about the medical records of her getting punched in the face with a fistful of rings? Or the medical evidence of her going to the hospital? Like, where's the evidence of her the evidence that matters? Yeah, she told her therapist a bunch of lies. And they weren't allowed to... You can tell your therapist whatever the fuck you want. I'm in therapy. I don't tell them whatever the fuck I want. But, you know, like, it's just a person you're talking to. There's no hard evidence. Like, if he really was running up in her with a glass bottle and she felt like she was bleeding and cut up, there should have been medical evidence. She decided not to go to the hospital in all these different times. If she did really get hit in the face with a fistful of rings, that would have ripped her face in half. It's a man with full force swinging and punching, as she describes in her testimony. She fucking very well, and as much trouble as she went to record him, to record their conversations, and she was being sneaky about shit, like, as much trouble as she went, you would think that she would go to the hospital to make that shit official on paper. But no, she did not. She decided that she was using her bruise kit, which she accidentally called it a bruise kit. It was a Freudian slip on the stand. She called it a bruise kit, which she should have just been like, I put makeup on. And then you see her on these talk shows where she's flawless and she's like, that's a bunch of makeup. It's a bunch of makeup. And then you have her stupid makeup artist who's like, yeah, I had to cover up some shit. And then you had her hairdresser who says the direct opposite. So, like, who's lying? Somebody's lying. Someone's lying there. So, anyways. And apparently the jury thought she was lying. Come on.
Example, we had significant amount of texts, including from Mr. Depp's assistants, saying, when I told him he kicked you, he cried. He is so sorry. That didn't come in.
Is there any other way to interpret this verdict?
Why didn't that come in?
That this jury, for whatever reason, and I hear you on some of the evidence that they didn't hear, listening to Amber Heard, did not believe a single word.
You know, and that's because she was demonized here. A number of things were allowed in this court that should not have been allowed. And it caused the jury to be confused. We weren't allowed to
the
tell
jury's
them
fault.
about the UK judgment. So the damages is completely skewed. There are no damages. It stopped at November 2, 2020, which is when the judgment came down in the UK.
Let me ask you about social media in this case. Unlike any celebrity case, certainly I've ever covered or ever seen, social media was a part of this. And it was incredibly lopsided and vitriolic against Amber Heard. Do you think that had an effect on the case?
Absolutely.
You think jurors were aware of it? They weren't supposed to be. They're admonished every single day. Don't look at it. Do you think they did see it?
How can you not? They went home every night. They have families. The families are on social media. We had a 10-day break in the middle because of the...
It's the jury's fault, y'all. Duh. It's the fucking... It's those numbskulls. Those numbskulls who are on their social medias and talking to their family. They went home for break. You know that they were looking on the social medias and talking to their family. These fools. They were swayed. It was their fault.
The judicial conference. There's no way they couldn't have been influenced by it. And it was horrible. It really, really was lopsided.
That's
and I appreciate
true.
your saying that. It's like the Roman Colosseum, you know, how they viewed this whole case. I was against cameras in the courtroom, and I went on record with that.
Why was it like the Roman Colosseum? Why was that the case? Why was it like the Roman Colosseum? Was it because it's like the gladiator against the lion? Like, I don't... What does she mean? What does that mean? Or is it the people in the crowd are calling for her death, and that's ultimately what happened? I don't... This lady's weird.
And had argued against it because of the sensitive nature of this. But it made it a zoo.
Does your client want to appeal?
Oh, absolutely. And she has some excellent grounds for it. We even had tried to get the UK judgment in to dismiss his case because he already had his shot. And that's one of the issues, but also a number of the evidentiary issues. There was so much evidence that did not.
That's a bullshit. He already had his shot. No, that was a totally separate situation. He was going after the son. They were going after the son, not... it's a different thing. Now he's going after her because of the op-ed that she wrote, that she didn't even fucking write, which we'll get there, folks. We'll get there.
Come in.
Is she able to pay a $10.4 million judgment?
Oh, no.
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
Broke ass.
Finally, in closing arguments, Amber's team argued that this would send a message, that it would send a message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you always have to do more. You need to be perfect in order for people to believe you if she did not get a favorable verdict. What message do you think this sends?
It's a horrible message. It's, as I said, a setback. It's a significant setback because that's exactly what it means. Unless you pull out your phone and you video your spouse or your significant other beating you, effectively, you won't be believed.
Elaine Charlson, Bredehoff, thank you very much for your...
It is the fact that Elaine had the nerve and the audacity to say that Morgan Tremaine was looking for his 15 minutes of fame, yet here she is doing another interview. You don't see Mr. Rottenborn out there doing interviews, but she sure wants to extend her 15 minutes of fame. Here's another clip. It's just laughable.
A Virginia jury's decision to side with Johnny Depp in his defamation lawsuit is drawing both condemnation and praise. The verdict came after 6 weeks of very dramatic testimony from both sides. She claimed that he abused her while he said she was the abuser. In his reaction, Depp wrote, the goal of bringing the case was to...
I'm sorry, but that woman the Greta, whatever her name is, she looked like she was lost in church every day. Like, what should I say? I don't even know what. She's just constantly. She was disheveled. She couldn't rephrase questions for her own client, because it was that day when Camille was just objecting to everything, and she got flustered. And she's like, I'm doing my best. Like, she constantly seemed like she was just on the verge of getting her shit together, but just never could do it. Just failure to launch. It's just terrible.
To reveal the truth, and that truth never perishes. Elaine Charlson Bredehoff is the attorney for Amber Heard and is with us now. And we should mention, we did also reach out to Johnny Depp's team, but they declined to be interviewed this morning. Exactly. Elaine, thank you. We're so very glad you're here.
Thank you.
We heard Amber's reaction to the verdict yesterday.
Enjoy your lyric.
Seems to be a huge victory for Johnny Depp this morning.
A major setback for women, for women inside the courtroom and outside the courtroom.
Because?
Because basically what this said, Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK. But look at all the women who have no evidence, all these women who suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse.
If you don't have evidence, how are you going to prove that shit? I mean, that's when you're in a case, like, look at all the women who don't have evidence. It's like, well, they don't have evidence. I mean, if someone's beating your ass, or someone, like, you get yourself, in any side, man, woman, fucking trans, anybody in between, if someone is abusing you verbally or physically, you try to separate yourself, and and your partner's trying to stop you. I mean, you're trying to get a divorce from them. You have to have some kind of evidence to get out of that situation. But also, if you're in that situation, you need to remove yourself from that situation as fast as you can. And if you feel like you're in physical danger, you need to go to the police. You need to you gather your evidence, as much evidence as you can, so you can put your partner or whoever it is that's abusing you behind bars forever, or at least get them away from you, or at least be able to, by law, have them stay away from you, because it's bullshit. No one deserves that. No one does. So you have to have evidence to get out of these situations. You can't just be like, I mean, here's the problem. Like, this is the problem with Amber Heard, is just like, he beat me up, but okay, where's your evidence? Oh, it's some pictures that I'm going to lie about. It's like, here's some things that I'm going to lie about. Here's my terrible acting. And here's, it's like, you have to present some viable evidence if you want these things to go through the way that they need to go through. And most of the time, when people are suffering from DV and SA, there's enough substantial evidence, or at least they know that they know they need to get out of that situation. I understand that there's a lot of people who stay in that situation because they just they'll make excuses for their partner, or they'll just, whatever the situation is that keeps them in that. But there's always evidence of terrible things happening when it's actually happening, whether it's body language of the people who are being abused, or if it's actual marks on their face. There's always some kind of evidence. So I don't know what this lady's talking about. The people who don't have evidence, the people that don't have evidence are the people who are just lying.
They don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you, you're out of luck.
But Elaine, I think it was bigger than that, because you had the evidence, as you say, but they did not believe her. Why do you think they did not believe her?
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status.
But she's a celebrity too.
And it's not only not
she's
believing her.
but she's a celebrity too.
Right.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in the UK. Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden of proof was on the son in the UK, because they had called him a wife beater and talked about the domestic violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then.
How about you talk about who the judge's son worked for instead of trying to claim JD had an actual chance to tell the truth, because we know he didn't stand a chance. So here again is being stated that there's indication that the judge's son worked for Rupert Murdoch and the son. So that could have some. Do you have to remember Amber is a bad actor? Oh yeah, you have to remember that. And she's terrible. She's a terrible actress. I'm getting a lot of traction. Obviously, it's not hard to get a lot of traction in the social media side of this, of these videos that I'm putting together from these streams. I'm getting a lot of traction. One of them has like 300K. The latest one has like 20K right now, and it's always women, and it's always them talking about this stuff. And it's always coming down to how bad of an actor is, how unbelievable she is. And it's crazy to me how many women are just like, this bitch is lying. Fuck her. It's crazy to me, because you would think that it would be women in gaggles, like, we're fuck Johnny Depp, which they were, years ago, a few years ago, it was fuck Johnny Depp. But that was at the height of the Me Too movement, and that was the problem with Believe All Women. It's like, I definitely believe all domestic violence, people who are claiming domestic violence, believe them. But then again, you have to present the evidence. You have to show that these people are actually being harmful, because the problem is that humans are fallible, and humans lie. They lie. They are always lying. We lie all the fucking time. And some people are crazy as fuck. Some people are nutter butters, okay? So you believe people, but then we have to have evidence. You can't just believe everybody anytime they say anything. I mean, you can't. I mean, yes, you can, but you can't just go off of it. You can't just be like, okay, that's them. That's it. He's a sex offender now because this lady said so. Never mind that, she was cheating on him and she treated him like shit, and he decided to leave her. Now she's mad at him because she's possessive and she's a little off kilter. Forget about that. Now he's a sex offender because she said so. Okay, where's the evidence? We need that evidence. It's like, yes, let's believe this person. Let's believe them until we don't, because that's how it works. We can't just go around being like, he's a rapist. She's an abuser. Zay grabbed my dick, people do that all the time. People are vindictive. People lie. People are crazy. People are fallible. And that's just how it goes. This lady is struggling to counter them. Yeah, she is. It's really, really bad. She's really bad at her job. I like that. Look, she's going for 16 minutes. She was trying to get her 15 minutes of fame, and this person said she's going for 16 minutes. She's trying to get that extra minute in. I mean, I don't know who's going to want to hire this lady. She looked like a fucking buffoon. Who wants to hire this lady?
And a 3-week trial, he lost. The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence. And that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system, and the judge, it wasn't a jury, it was a judge. The judge said it was substantially true, and that is significant, and I think surprised a lot of legal analysts. But, in this case, the jury not only didn't believe Amber Heard, but in ruling that she acted with actual malice, that means she had the intent to cause harm, right? That's a pretty high standard to have proven.
And it's pretty amazing since the op-ed never even mentioned Mr. Depp. You have to remember that. What they learned from the UK case is to demonize Amber, which is what they...
Listen, it didn't mention his name, but she said it. She said it on the stand. She said, that's why I wrote this about Johnny Depp. She fucking said it. Yeah, she keeps... Yeah, the UK trial's over. And again, I'm just finding this out myself, is that, there's possible ties that the judge's son worked for the Sun. The Sun's son. So, that can play a huge influence. Rupert Murdoch has deep pockets. So who knows? Who knows what kind of fuckery was going on in that situation? Like, yo, we don't care about that, brah. Yeah, that's over. The UK thing. We couldn't enter the evidence from the UK. He demonized her. No, she demonized herself. She demonized herself. She made herself look like a fool. Her fucking attorneys made her look like a fool. Her attorneys looked like fools. Like, it was a whole clown circus, okay? Clowns. Fucking clowns. So I don't want to hear that shit. She's just going around making the tours, the fucking the news tours, trying to hype it, keep the hype going, because they're going to try to appeal, and who knows on what grounds, really, but we'll see. So, this op-ed, and I kind of want to show that video, and this is the video that I made. Look at her. Look at that weirdo. I'll show you just what I was just saying, that she admitted that it was about him. Let me make sure this isn't loud.
Proven all the elements of defamation.
Wait. I think I can't play this because of...
Yourself no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016. You didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture
lied
of.
about this.
Did you?
That's the first one.
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him.
Diverting.
That's his power.
Diverting.
That's
But watch
why I wrote
this.
the op-ed.
Second
I'm
one.
speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will
She
come
wrote
out
the
in support
op-ed
of him and will fall to his power?
about him.
He is a very...
So she's right, and like, look at these. Look at this. Well, who's this? I hope they investigate her. I think this is a woman. She never answers the question. Such a liar. Oh my god. I like that. I hope she gets. Gets down for perjury. Pathological liar. Just public opinion is just totally against her, and it was just so crazy to see how many women came out against her. Anyways, we don't need to keep looking at my thing. So, where are we at with all this? So let's go to this. So I kept on referencing that Amber Heard didn't actually write this op-ed. So Amber Heard was found liable for defaming Johnny Depp in a Washington Post op-ed. She didn't write it. The ACLU did. So the ACLU, she promised $3.5 million. So they're just like, yeah, we'll whip something up for this lady. Let's go. So we'll read a little bit, and then maybe we'll just switch to a video, since I read like a fucking like a kindergartner. After a 6-week trial, a Virginia jury found Amber Heard liable for defaming her ex-husband Johnny Depp with an op-ed where she described herself as a victim of domestic violence. Testimony and email records produced at the trial demonstrated that the first draft of the Washington Post op-ed was ghostwritten by staffers at the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU. These are people. This is an organization organization that defended the Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan being able to protest. They've defended so many people in the name of free speech. And over these past few years, especially since Trump has come into office or came into office, they have just thrown all that shit away. And I'm not saying yay for the Ku Klux Klan or anything. I mean, fuck them. But freedom of speech means freedom of speech, and that's why this organization was important, especially here in America. At the time the top op-ed was published in December 2018, Jesus, what the fuck? The ACLU was touting Heard's as an ambassador for women's rights with a focus on gender-based violence. In an email to Heard sent a month earlier, Robin Schulman, a member of the organization's communications team, said she tried to shape Heard's fire and rage in a draft. Terrence Doherty, I don't know if I'm saying that right, the ACLU's general counsel and chief operating officer, testified that the organization's executive director, Anthony Romero, and legal director, David Cole, also weighed in. Hey, friends, sorry I was late. I was modding Josh, but happy to say hi for a few minutes before I leave for work. Hey, Robbie, welcome in, my friend. Thank you for popping in. We're still talking about Amber Turd. Heard didn't write the headline either. Heard and an ACLU representative testified in the trial that a Washington Post editor chose the headline for the op-ed, as is typical for media organizations. Depp's lawyers nonetheless argued that Heard republished the op-ed by tweeting a link to it. Emails shown to jurors indicate that Heard made modifications to the ACLU's draft. She also had an attorney vetted in a failed effort to ward off a lawsuit from Depp. On the stand, Heard argued that if she truly wanted to defame Depp, she would have used his name, which does not appear in the published version. Nonetheless, the jury delivered a verdict against her and awarded Depp $15 million in damages and $10.3. The judge reduced the amount to $10.35 million to confirm with Virginia law. The jury found Depp liable for just one of the three statements they deliberated from Heard's countersuit made by his lawyer, Adam Waldman. So, that's a little confusing, I think. Shocked face. Yes, you should be shocked. So we'll kind of go into a little bit more on what actually it meant, the verdict. And because I was confused when I first heard the verdict because we watched it live and there was more explaining that I think I needed. But let's jump into this video about, and this is Rising, which I really like this. I really like Rising. And I really like who started this show, Crystal and Sager. I don't know how to say his name, but Crystal Ball and Sager something. But they went and did their own show. Now it's called Breaking Points, which is very good too. But The Hill continued the show, Rising, and I think it's very good as well. So let's kind of get a breakdown of what I just sort of terribly read to you.
Here's an interesting story. The ACLU revealed under testimony that it wrote Amber Heard's domestic violence op-ed and timed its release with the debut of her film Aquaman.
The group also testified that Heard has only...
Which is gross, too. It's like, let's get as much attention on Amber as we can to push this movie and to push they're really using the momentum of the Me Too movement, and it's pretty gross. It's pretty gross.
He paid them half of the money she promised from her divorce settlement with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, so this is a really weird kind of thing that came out, obviously, of the trial right now, this legal dispute between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, who were married and are married no longer. And she had, he's suing her for defamation or libel, in part stemming from this Washington Post op-ed that alludes to domestic violence, and he's saying that was an accusation of domestic violence against her. And their marriage, their relationship was very messy. There's some he said, she said elements to it. I don't quite know what to make of it. They seem like very troubled people. But this was a weird revelation to me, that this op-ed was part of the ACLU was very involved in crafting it. And then she had promised them money in exchange, like that she was going to donate to. So it's not in an illegal sense, but in ethically gray sense, right? It's
Yeah, so I think the understanding was that she, to deflect some of the whatever criticism she might get for trying to exploit Johnny Depp for money and getting the settlement, she was going to give it to a worthy cause. So that's why it's particularly untoward that she didn't actually even pay up.
I mean, the ACLU was like, yeah, sounds great.
Right, well, but in a world, I think fundamentally in a world where she was in fact abused by Johnny Depp, and obviously I don't know what happened, but the color of the stuff that's coming out of the testimony is really, throwing her testimony, her credibility is kind of under the radar right now.
Yes, very much so.
But in a world where she was being truthful and was being abused by Johnny Depp, an organization that is invested in protecting women and fighting for laws that help women in domestic disputes, helping her to craft an op-ed about her experiences wouldn't necessarily seem untoward. The problem is
Yeah, and there you go. They're kind of talking to that, Morby. If they thought they were doing a good thing with bringing light to domestic violence, bringing the most attention isn't so bad, right? But you got to think about the morality of the choice that Amber Heard's making here, and now that all the evidence has been out, and now that she's been found, liable for the things that she didn't even really say, which is weird. I guess you can't blame the ACLU too much, but it is kind of speaks to how everyone at one point during this Me Too movement was sort of guilty before evidence was presented. And I think that's the important thing here, is that we got to understand that just because someone says something without evidence, it doesn't mean a whole lot. It does mean a whole lot. If someone's saying, hey, I was beaten up and I was sexually assaulted by this human being, again, I think that people should listen to them and they should be heard, and that's important. But then you need to present evidence, because you're trying to ruin someone's entire career and you're trying to ruin someone's life. And as it turned out, she was lying, and she's just a vindictive, crazy person. So, the ACLU, yeah, I see that, but again, this was at a time when they were just sort of running with a story without evidence, and they weren't vetting the situation very well, and so they should be held to a little bit of responsibility for that. Just going off the fact that it was just a she said situation without the evidence, they're just sort of like, yeah, let's ruin this dude's life. Yeah, I hate how some are still saying this is going to be used against people who are really big. Yeah, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's not. This is not hurting. If anything, it helps bring to light domestic violence towards men, because that happens all the time. The dudes get beat up too, and we can't just sit here and say, oh, they're dudes, whatever, they can take it. It's like, no one should be putting their hands on anybody. No one should be getting hit. You know what I mean? No one should be treated like shit. Everyone should be everyone should have the freedom to not fear in their relationship. Yes, men get abused all the time, and it's really talked about. Yeah, man. It's fucked up, but this opens that door for them as well. It opens the door for women who I feel like it emboldens the idea that, women who are actually getting abused, it emboldens them with the evidence presented, it emboldens them to, be like, I got to make sure that when I do this, I do it right. I got to make sure that these people know the whole truth. And I see it as a win for domestic violence sufferers. Okay, let's get back to this video. I like these guys.
ACLU is basically going on her word and not waiting for any kind of legal process to adjudicate who was actually telling the truth. And this kind of speaks to some of the bigger problems with Me Too. Cases that don't rise to criminality, that are kind of adjudicated in the court of public opinion, can lead to exactly these kind of perverse incentives, and folks ending up thinking they're doing something good because they want to stand with victims, but the person who is claiming to be victimized isn't always in fact what they have represented themselves.
And even if they are, the ACLU is supposed to stand for due process as well. So it's just as you said. What do you think, Kim?
Well, I'm curious if the ACLU could be potentially, if they could go after them for the defamation. I mean, if they're the ones who actually wrote the article, could they potentially be, are they, I guess, guilty of libel potentially? Or is it that, well, the burden of whether or not it was true they were basically maybe writing it based on what Amber Heard said to them. Now, I get it. I'm not necessarily upset by them writing it. I don't think everybody's a writer. I think a lot of victims just have a story and they don't really know the most eloquent way to say it. So I'm not opposed to an organization coming in and saying, we can help you and we can help get your story out there. I think where it becomes obviously kind of suspect is the money aspect. Like, were they paid in a way to, this kind of quid pro quo type situation with Amber? Was it like she came to them and said, okay, I'll give you all this money if you guys help me out, because then it legitimizes her claims and then, maybe makes her look better in the situation against Johnny Depp? I don't know. That's a big question. I do know, though, in regards to her not paying the money to the ACLU, it wasn't because she was greedy. Apparently, she did fall on really difficult financial times. She didn't have the money anymore to give them. And that might have to do with the fact she was being sued by Johnny Depp, potentially. So, that, and also the money that she did give half of the money that she promised. Almost half of that money was actually given to the ACLU by Elon Musk.
Yes.
Who actually gave her the money.
And they were in a relationship.
So, I mean, she did end up giving like $350,000 of Elon Musk's money to the organization she's promised the money to. And again, I think that they're talking in reasonable terms here. It's like, yeah, the ACLU is, they're just trying to help somebody and protect somebody. But again, the ACLU used to stand for due process, and there was no due process other than he said it, and public opinion sways, and that, or she said this, and he's terrible, and the internet says that Johnny's guilty. So fuck Johnny. Let's write this op-ed, and let's continue in trying to destroy someone's life for something someone just decided to say. And ultimately just decided that I'm just gonna make shit up.
Yeah, he was in love with her. He talked about after the breakup that it was really tough on him. But he kind of swooped in and tried to be the hero a little bit. And he also tried to make an arrangement saying she would make these payments to the ACLU over a 10-year time period. That's when she would get that money to them. But she fell on hard times. She's being sued. But I'm curious if you think that the ACLU, did they is this more of a problem for them that they would accept this sort of like, okay, you're going to give us some money. We're going to put this out there. We're going to use our influence to get this published in a big publication.
I think she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. We were just watching a video of her lawyer saying that she don't have it. I don't even know how she was paying her fucking lawyers. I think she's broke. There was a reason why she had her friends and family all moved up into Johnny Depp's fucking penthouse apartments. She was making money off of Aquaman or whatever, and she is an actress. But I don't think she was a particularly wealthy actress, and she probably is terrible with managing money. She was a drug addict, fucking alcoholic who's crazy and probably really liked buying nice things and spending all her money. So I think that, I don't think she has it. Her lawyer just said she didn't have it. What do you do if you can't come up with the money? Do you go to jail? I don't think she's going to jail. I think it's just she probably has to file for bankruptcy or something. She'll just file for bankruptcy and they'll call it even, and that's just probably what happens. I don't know if you can. I don't know. Can you file for bankruptcy for money owed in a lawsuit? You file for bankruptcy for money owed. A lawsuit. Ooh, it comes up. Ohio bankruptcy. Yeah, I don't know. 5 bankruptcy alternatives. If you're facing a lawsuit by a creditor due to unpaid debts, filing bankruptcy can help stop it. It is possible to file bankruptcy after losing a case in court and receiving an order for judgment. So technically, I guess, if we're just going off of Google's really quick answer here, who knows if that's what works. This happened in Fairfax, Virginia. There could be different laws in that state, but hold on, let's see what this says. Our lawsuit judgments discharged in a bankruptcy. If your lender obtains a judgment, it can garnish your wages and go after your assets to satisfy outstanding judgment. Fortunately, filing for bankruptcy can stop the garnishment and wipe out your obligation. What debts cannot be discharged? Bankruptcy. Filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy eliminates credit card debt, medical bills, unsecured loans. However, there are some debts that cannot be discharged. Those debts include child support, spousal support obligations, student loans, judgments for damage resulting from drunk driving accidents, and most unpaid taxes. So maybe she can't do that. So who knows? There's some conflicting answers here. Yeah, hell yes, DMV hype. Let's go. She should be happy she had this in Virginia. She would owe more in other states. The $2 million additional penalty was lowered to $350K because that's the max allowed. Yeah, that was because the state laws in Virginia. So yeah, that money doesn't exist. She's not getting any of that. She owes it all to Johnny Depp. So we'll see. Let's go back to. Let's get rid of this. There's Kanye. Look at that face. Look at that man. Look at that genius. He's a genius. There's Kim. Kim Iverson, everybody. Kim's hot too.
We're going to get it pressed by making sure we time it with your movie release. I mean, is this a bad look for the ACLU, or do you think this looks worse for Amber?
I think it is kind of a bad look for the ACLU. I guess that timing it with the movie release isn't. That's not really a problem. Right. That's just good comp. They want to get as much attention for it as they can, but it is reflective. It's reflective of exactly what Brianna was saying. They're kind of, the ACLU on Me Too stuff has kind of been in a place that I'm not comfortable with as someone who thinks we have to be very cognizant of due process, when just accusations are being leveled, some accusations not rising to the level of criminal conduct anyway.
Yeah, so there is no due process. Right, it's like there isn't cultural due process, but there's no.
That's something the ACLU kind of purports to stand for, or has.
I mean, this is the fundamental issue. Everyone is being asked to declare definitively what they know about something, and then your morality is being judged on what side of the line you're on. And individuals are being asked to be prosecutors, detectives, private investigators, police officers, getting to the bottom of what happened between people, perhaps years before. And there's all of this public pressure to make a statement and to take a position. And so I think some of the worst kind of Me Too offenses, it hasn't been the Harvey Weinsteins and all of that get borne out in a court of law, and we feel kind of confident that justice is meted out in those contexts. It's the weird Aziz Ansari, Al Franken instances where there's no good way to understand, okay, even if you agree that somebody did something bad, how bad is it? What is the metric? What does accountability look like? What does penance look like? What does rehabilitation look like outside of the context of the carceral system? And because we don't have conversations about that, because there's so much moral stickiness around it, you end up having either cast somebody out entirely who's done something negligible like Aziz Ansari, or you are accused of, siding with someone who is kind of maximally wrong. Everyone gets conflated into being Harvey Weinstein.
Or all the campus cases. I mean, there were very real changes made to Title IX adjudication to sexual misconduct disputes between students in educational settings on college campuses. There was a lot of new guidance, and I've talked about this a lot
And that's kind of what we're talking about. There's no nuance to the situation. You're judged by the culture instead of judged by a court of law. And what isn't Aziz Ansari as bad as Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby? I don't think so. It sounded like he had a bad date that was awkward. He seems like an awkward comedian, and it seemed like two consenting adults, and one person just thought it was a bad date, and she just was like, I'm gonna ride this, and he ended up losing his show, and he lost a lot in that situation. And there was no evidence of wrongdoing. There was just evidence of an awkward guy just trying to get some head and bang, you know what I mean? So that's where the problem is, and that's where the Me Too thing sort of the pendulum swung too far in one direction, where it just made someone guilty because someone said something, and so that got viral, and everybody's a fucking critic now. Everybody has a voice, and so you're bad, and I'm gonna boycott your studio if you don't fire this person off of something someone said. There was no actual due process. There was actually nothing to prove that this has actually happened, and that's where the problem is, and that's why it went a little too far in one direction, and that sucks, that definitely sucked for Johnny Depp in this case.
previous radars. Emily Jashinsky has as well. We follow these subjects closely. Under the Obama administration, there were a lot of changes that were in the legal system, or the way these were being handled, that I thought, and Emily Jashinsky thinks as well, really undermined due process protections that should exist for people accused in those situations, which are sometimes very ambiguous situations. And the Trump administration reversed some of those changes. It was one of the policies of the Trump Education Department that I most vigorously supported, was them undoing those changes. And the ACLU, which I would have expected under different circumstances to be all for defending the rights of even the accused in those circumstances, were not only insufficiently committed but actually spoke out against some of the changes. So it's that kind of refocusing on what the priorities are in order to appease, I assume, the new kind of woke employees, or maybe I think it's more their employees than anyone else, is a concern that, again, I've raised, and Emily as well. And check out those past radars if you.
Donors, I would say they're donors. They definitely.
I think it's more. Well, I'm sure it's donors to some degree, but I think it's literally employees. It's the young staffers they bring on who say, "Wait a minute, I thought I signed on to fight the Trump administration. You said there's something the Trump administration does that's actually good. That does not compute. No, we have to be against that."
Well, and I think that what happened was they actually saw their donations increase quite a bit under the Trump administration.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So just because everyone hated Trump, the ACLU got a lot more donations, and they're like, "Oh, we got a lot more money here. There's some money to be made for hating Trump." Not that I'm trying to defend him in any sense, but yeah, it's that is kind of interesting when you start adding money into the equation, how people's opinions can be bought and sold. Okay, so again, they're going to be appealing this case, and let's kind of watch some of the breakdown of the whole. The actual verdict itself. So where is that? Oh, it's not it. Oh, balls. Did I kill it? Shit, I think I closed the wrong thing. Have a great weekend. All right, buddy, you too. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for thanks for staying high, Robbie. Thanks for staying high. Oh, Lord. Won't you buy me a Mercedes? Okay, let me look at something real quick. Because there's a couple last things I want to get to before we move on from this, because, I don't want to really talk about this anymore. I'm kind of over it, but there are some interesting things. That's right, baby. That's right. Thanks for staying high. Oh, jeez, come on. That's not
in
it.
civil case number.
That's not it. Hold on. We'll watch a fun video. Okay, so here's the verdict explained.
For this video, we're looking at the outcome of the highly publicized Depp v. Heard trial and what it means. What are your thoughts on the verdict? Let us know in the comments. It was the headline that caught everyone's attention in December 2018. Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. 2 months after this Washington Post op-ed was published, Johnny Depp sued his ex-wife, seeking $50 million for allegedly defaming him.
Johnny Depp, he said, she said $50 million defamation lawsuit against his ex, Amber Heard.
In August 2020, Heard filed a $100 million counterclaim.
I wanted to look at the Heard Depp trial, but then I got high. Against
Depp for allegedly coordinating a social media campaign against her. 3 months later, Depp v. News Group Newspapers Limited ruled against the actor, who subsequently stepped down from the Fantastic Beasts franchise. While Depp lost this court case, the legal battle and media frenzy were just getting started.
The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal.
In April 2022, Depp v. Heard officially commenced in Fairfax County, Virginia. Following 6 weeks of testimony, op-ed didn't mention the actor's name and therefore wasn't libelous.
You cannot hold Amber Heard liable for words she didn't write or publish.
Furthermore, Benjamin Rottenborn maintained that a verdict against Heard would send a negative message to, quote, every victim of domestic abuse everywhere.
Think about the message that Mr. Depp and his attorneys are sending to Amber, and by extension to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere.
On Depp's legal team, Camille Vasquez argued that Heard was the only wrongdoer in the courtroom, and her allegations against Depp were untrue. Exactly 6 years after Heard received a restraining order, Depp's counsel implored the jury to, quote, give him his life back.
We ask you to give Mr. Depp his life back by telling the world that Mr. Depp is not the abuser Ms. Heard said he is.
The 7-person jury spent about 2 hours deliberating until being let out for the 3-day weekend. They returned on May 31st, but only briefly surfaced to ask Judge Penny Ascarati whether they were supposed to determine if the headline or the whole op-ed was false.
The question is, does question number 3, the statement is false, pertain to the headline, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath?
Depp already seemingly won in the court of public opinion. Awaiting a verdict, a flatbed truck pulled up to the Fairfax County Courthouse with a vessel modeled after a Pirates of the Caribbean ship. Meanwhile, Depp played alongside guitarist Jeff Beck in the United Kingdom for 3 nights. Kate Moss reunited.
Which is totally funny that Johnny Depp just went on tour with Jeff Beck and just rocked out. He was like, fuck it, I'm going to live my life.
With Depp on the 3rd. The model had testified via video almost a week earlier, denying rumors that Depp pushed her down the stairs while dating in the 90s.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No.
Heard was mostly quiet during the jury deliberations, which makes sense given her May 26th rebuttal. The actress testified that she received death threats amid ongoing online harassment. While many have doubted Heard's accusations regarding Depp, there's no denying that social media hasn't been her biggest fan as of late. Leading up to the verdict, a Change.org petition nearly reached its goal of 4,500,000 signatures to remove Heard from Aquaman 2. DC and WB have made it clear that Heard won't be replaced, although it's unclear how much screen time she'll receive or if she'll return for the inevitable Aquaman 3.
Did Warner Brothers take any steps affirmatively to audition other actresses for the role of Mira in Aquaman 2?
No, we did not.
While Heard's career may hinge on the verdict, some are more concerned for what the trial means for the Me Too movement. Me Too has seen many pay for their crimes, most notably Harvey Weinstein.
Look at that demon. Look at that fucking demon. This fucking devil. This fucking dark angel. Not even angel. That's too good. Look at this fucking, this demagogue. This fucking disgusting ghoul.
Behind bars. For all the positive change and justice Me Too has delivered, false accusations have also been a talking point. This brought attention to Him Too, a movement that's been applied to male abuse victims and those who've been falsely accused. This hashtag was met with scrutiny when it surfaced during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, with some coming to recognize it as the Me Too antithesis. Him Too seemed to lose momentum after that, with Me Too remaining a strong symbol of feminism. Throughout Depp v. Heard, though, it's been...
Well, okay, and here's the thing about the Him Too and Me Too. It's like, who's more likely to get assaulted sexually and physically? Most of the time it's a dude doing the assaulting. So I get why Him Too kind of fizzled out. Oh my god, I can buy viewers and primes? Holy shit, guys. Here we go. We're finally here. We're finally doing it. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this son of a bitch here. Hold on. Ban. All right, there we go. Boom. Let me write. I gotta get those followers. You missed it. Sorry, Morby. You missed those followers.
Argued that Me Too could be at a turning point.
Now it's our job, I think, as women, to make sure it lasts.
On May 18th, 2022, the New York Times published an opinion piece by Michelle Goldberg entitled Amber Heard and the Death of Me Too. While Goldberg acknowledged that the case wasn't straightforward, she expressed concern that the trial will lead to, quote, similar lawsuits against other women who say they've survived abuse. Whether Depp won or lost, the internet already seemed to make up its mind about Heard.
There's just an absolute explosion of hatred directed at this one woman, sort of as a proxy for many people's frustrations with the Me Too movement.
Will this hurt Me Too in the long run? Will mistreated men become a larger part of the conversation? Will the public be less quick to rally behind those who claim to be survivors? Can society handle the nuances of this difficult subject matter? The verdict is still out on all of the above, but the jury reached a verdict in Depp v. Heard on June 1st.
All right, Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
The verdict was reached after 12 hours and 45 minutes of deliberations. Although this quick response boded well for Depp, he didn't attend with his legal team. Depp reportedly watched from the UK, where he had other commitments, although Heard was present at the courthouse. As court reconvened at 3 p.m. Eastern, the judge sent the jury back to complete the damages form.
But I need those lines filled out, okay?
The jury returned shortly after, unanimously finding Heard liable on all 3 counts of defamation against Depp, granting him $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages.
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million.
Since Virginia limits punitive damages at $350,000, Depp's total came to $10.35 million. The jury ruled in Heard's favor on 1 of 3 counts, finding Depp liable of defamation for Daily Mail statements. They awarded Heard $2 million, meaning she still owes Depp $8.35 million.
As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million.
Heard has also yet to complete her pledge to donate $3.5 million each to the American Civil Liberties Union and the Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Although defamation was found on both sides, Depp emerged from this trial with more to celebrate than Heard. Following the verdict, Heard released a statement expressing, quote, disappointment for herself and, quote, other women. Depp stated, quote, I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. While Depp is walking away from the trial $8.35 million richer, let's not forget legal fees. Although unconfirmed, Manny Aurora of Aurora Law Trial Attorneys suspects that Depp's lawyers have cost no less than $5.5 million. So Depp is probably getting less than $3 million in the end.
We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation.
Although significantly lower than the $50 million sought, this trial was arguably never about money for Depp. Even with the negative press and reports of debt he's endured in recent years, Depp's net worth is estimated at $150 million. As of writing, Heard's is estimated at $8 million. Given his income, Depp's goal above all else was likely to restore his reputation. While the verdict has only further solidified Depp's fan base, will Hollywood welcome him back?
The actor who plays guitar in Dior's campaign for Sauvage is expected to keep riding a wave of popularity.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified.
All right, so there's a little quick breakdown of what happened. We kind of all knew that. I don't even see her connected to Me Too somehow. She clearly tried to jump on that train, but she is obviously lying. I hope I don't turn out wrong someday. Oh God. Well, you won't, Morby, because you're not a fucking evil, horrible person who was using a very important movement to your advantage, to make money, to garner support, to get attention, to further your career, further one's career. No, you're not that person. I can tell. I know, Morby, that's not you. So I don't think you'll have to worry about that. So here we go. We're back to she plans on the appeal. So let's read through this quickly, and then there's one more thing we'll cover, which is very disturbing to me. It's a very disturbing movement that has popped up out of this verdict in support of Amber Heard, and we'll get there in just a moment, but let's go through here and see what she planned on doing. So Amber Heard plans to appeal verdict in Johnny Depp defamation case. The Johnny Depp Amber Heard legal saga might not be over just yet. The Aquaman actress plans to appeal the verdict in her ex-husband's defamation suit against her. Entertainment Weekly has learned. The decision comes after a jury in Fairfax, Virginia, found on Wednesday that she initially and maliciously defamed Depp, and she wrote her 2018 op-ed in the Washington Post about her experiences as a domestic abuse survivor. Depp was awarded $10 million. Yeah, we know that. The jury found partly in Heard's favor regard. We know that. I'm heartbroken. The mountain of evidence. Heard declared verdict is a setback. She went on to say that she believes Depp's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the issues of freedom of speech, which I kind of can see that, but no. But she lied so many times. So Depp released his own statement. Yes, we know that. Wait, that's it? They're not going to talk about anything other than she's going to appeal. So she's just going to appeal. What a waste of our time to even go in here. God damn it. I should have read this before we... So she's planning on appealing, y'all. I was hoping that they would kind of go on what grounds she would be appealing, but I guess they don't even know yet. So no one knows. I don't even think the lawyers know yet. I don't. Great. My plan is working out. Morby, you better stop. Okay, so out of this movement has come this out of this verdict has come this very disturbing movement that's come from the support of Amber Heard. And there's a lot of people who support Amber Heard. There's a lot of people who still are fans of Amber Heard, and still, people who believe her and think that Johnny Depp, won the system, and that he, his power as a man, as a big movie star, overshadowed the hell that he allegedly put her through, and whether a court finds him innocent or not, which they didn't. They didn't find him completely innocent. There was defamation, and she was awarded punitive damages. So she was awarded something which is completely canceled out by all the shit she owes him. She can't afford to pay him. So out of all of this comes #cut for Amber. Okay? This is fucked up shit here. So this person, Cardellina, I don't know who this bitch is, but for all my Amber supporters, please, I am begging you to post your cut for Amber pictures under tweets of popular profiles to get the message out. We need to demand justice for Amber Heard. So I don't know if you guys know what that means. If you guys don't know what cutting means, but cutting means to cut yourself. They want you to harm yourself in support of Amber Heard. And whoever this crazy bitch is, I don't know who this lady is, but she is awful. What a terrible human being. And it took fire. Like, this is actually trending on Twitter. Then this person responds, "You are fucking sick for encouraging this. You need to remove this immediately. What a vile, dangerous thing to promote. How dare you? JD supporters would never encourage Amber Heard supporters to harm themselves. Opinions differ and people pick sides, but encouraging them to harm themselves is not okay." It kind of is a troll, but it's like, okay, so these are pictures that I found the other day, and you know, these could be fake, these could not be. But these are pictures I found the other day that you know, and if you get queasy, you know, this might not be for you. Maybe look away for a second. But this is fake. I know this is fake, but still, we don't know if this is fake or not. But I'm looking through the Cut for Amber hashtags, and oh my goodness, you are all so sweet to me. You have no idea how much these kind of words warm my heart. I am so lucky to have you all by my side. I love you, Bibs. So I don't think this is real. This is Amber Heard's. I think this is fake right here. But this is what someone. This is for Amber, and this is what someone posted. And again, I don't know if these are real or not. But this is trending on Twitter, and people could just be getting their 5 minutes of attention. You know, the 2 minutes of Twitter attention. But if you click on the hashtag, I mean, it's mostly people. This one is the best though. Cut for Amber. I'm a man and I cut for Amber. This is what they. That's funny, but you know, this is people are taking this seriously. I stand with Amber Heard. Where is your caring queen now? If you have fans harming themselves and putting pics along with Cut for Amber, yet all I see is Johnny Depp fans trying to help. She's been tagged for her to say something. She cares about no one but herself. Wake up. And me when stumbling across Cut for Amber. They're just... the irony of Cut for Amber is that using self-harm as a mechanism for getting your way is literally something an abuser would do. Jeez, that's fucked up. Cut for Amber is exactly the mental state Amber Heard supporters are using for this trauma. What is this? Nigerians all over here. I don't know what this is.
Now I know say I no get sense.
Why is the whole of Africa here?
How the fuck will you say in the form of acts? Putting yourself bodily harm. That's not an act.
Why is Africa here?
That is not an
That's
act.
crazy.
Don't tell me that's an act.
Why would you do that to yourself? What do these people be smoking? Fuck, but they're promoting self-harm. This has to be a fucking troll. I hope it's a troll. English, you need to put a trigger warning in the captions or something. This can be very encouraging for some people. Okay. Trigger warning. Don't do this. We won't stay on this for too long, guys, but this is what happens on the internet. You know, people are going, look, there's some people making fun of it, but I found this person right here said, I went to the hospital, I was bleeding heavily, and they asked me why you did this. I proudly said, for Amber, I stand with Amber. So, you know, I don't know if this is real. I'm pretty sure this is a troll now that you guys are saying it. Now that you guys are saying it out loud, that makes more sense than it's probably not real. But listen, I want to read through some of the people who I stand for Amber. I want to read through some of these people. Oh. Oh, this is the lady. Oh shit. Look, so this was the lady who did this. So Amber Heard supporting y'all. So this person who I showed you that picture got her whole thing blocked. So this must have been real. This must have been a real thing, or at least, no, I guess not. I guess it don't have to be real. But Nicola was the lady who posted that that picture I showed, which I won't show again because that is really gross, but and terrible. And I'm not trying to promote self-harm anybody. And I think that's a terrible thing. Don't do that. Especially Kate Moss' testimony. You know Depp's got nothing when Camille resorts to using that twice in the closing argument. So here's people who are standing for her, I guess. This sounds like what an abuser would say of my friend says to her sometimes. It makes me so happy to see Amber know there are people supporting her. Opposing voices are louder, but it doesn't mean that we are not there. Oh, look, she's getting flowers. Oh, that's nice. So, you know, there's people who really do support her, and I really hope that that's not true. I hope that it's a troll. New Channel 5 video. He's at NRA convention. Let's go check it out.